luxury builder, the ultimate home creator, and I've lovingly referred to him as Jon Lovitz with a hammer. We've got Scott Hamilton Harris with us today, and Scott, always good to visit with you, my friend.
It's good to visit with you. How you been?
Doing okay. We're all making changes in life. That's kind of what we've all done the last couple of years, isn't it?
Oh my God, with this COVID and then now Delta, and I'm starting to wonder if they're naming them after hurricanes. Cameron. I heard the next one is elephant coming off an island in Aruba. The category 1. They're sending Trump out there. We'll see what happens next month.
That's right. Now things have picked up for you. I know you've been all over the place doing podcasts, doing special appearances and stuff like that. What's the schedule look like coming up for you as well?
Cameron, are you stalking me?
Instagram stalking.
Instagram, no, I can't. It's funny nowadays. People say, I'm a stalker. Everyone says it with, you're like, that's great. Well, let's see. At 1:00 today, I'm doing a show, which is a new show that's launching today that I'm excited to do on Instagram TV. I haven't done Instagram TV before, but it's with the host that did entertainment television for some time and interviewed some of the big ones, all the big ones. And so we're going to launch her show today.
That's cool. That's cool.
Exciting. Yeah.
And I know that work is picking up. Are the job orders picking up, or did they ever even slow down for you? I guess is the question.
They are picking up for us. I mean, they didn't slow down, right? They just, for some reason, everybody thought the construction industry is something that doesn't have to stop during COVID. It's all right. Go to work, see what happens. Do you want your pool remodeled? Do you want to do some faux plaster? It's okay. It's all right. You're essential.
Yeah, I know, right?
So that was actually, I'll say if anything, it was a scary time for us because while everybody is allowed to sit home in the safety of their home and they're collecting, God bless them, all these wonderful unemployment checks and relaxing and doing those 500 piece to 5,000 piece puzzles, we're doing the real puzzles out there.
Right.
And you're in these confined spaces and good luck, getting 2 people or 3 people together to stay 6 feet apart in construction. Right.
Yeah.
Everybody carry this and install it, but stay 6 feet apart.
You got to buy everything in large sizes, right?
But knock on wood. I mean, we had John Woosley did all of our safety protocol along with me. And, we did a very fantastic job and none of our employees had COVID. Our teams were protected, so we went through a pretty extensive monitoring process, but it's nerve wracking,
Mm-hmm.
And then you finally feel like it's a little bit better. And here comes Delta. Now elephants next. Or Jingle then.
That's funny. Now each month we get questions and I get blown away. We actually got 4 questions to get to this month. How about that?
Oh, good.
So without further ado, I say, Scott, let's get into it.
All right, let's do it. Let's roll.
All right. Our first question comes from Smitty in Orlando, Florida, who says that a friend's home burned down last year, wondering what we could do to help make ours more fire protected.
Wow. How did you get a name Smitty? Like, you gotta, at some point, change your name. Sorry, Smitty, no offense, but Smitty. A good question. What do you do? And look, the first thing is to stop building with wood, right? The 3 pig story, they learned that when the big bad wolf came through. But things that you can do are very simple. And I want people to think about this. And Smitty, I want you to think about this. This isn't about, protecting the house. It's about protecting lives. It's protect, we can, because it's great for the economy. You can build another, right? Look at what they've done with cars now. Cars are made to be disposable, right? Mm-hmm. They're made to take the impact and crush as long as they protect the person inside. So as much as, you and I may talk here and want to change the world, the reality is you want to put fire protection systems. Number one, here's an easy one you can do, Smitty. They have this cool thing called paint, and they use it for commercial buildings that has either a 1 or 2 hour fire rating. And so if you paint your house with this commercial paint, it allows your house to have a 1 to 2 hour fire rating. right? So, and it's interesting. We did Mark Thompson's house. I don't know if you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's also on radio and everything else too. And he was involved in the fires. And so he's like, Scott, come on up. So he come up there, and I was blown away to see what these embers were, right? Like when I think of embers, I think of my little fireplace.
Right.
Well, the embers that are coming on this thing were like softballs, because he had one of those plastic decks on the backyard overlooking the city. And you see, like, not golf balls, but, softball size, just holes melted through this thing.
Wow.
And it makes you really aware that these things actually, these embers are traveling at a significant speed. They create their own windstorm. And after the Malibu fires, I learned a lot because I was asked to speak on Fox News.
Mm-hmm.
They called me. I'm sitting at Kentucky Fried Chicken having a chicken leg, and they said, Scott, come on down tomorrow. I don't know if I know. Okay. I get there, Cameron, and there's all these fire captains, from Cal Fire, Ventura, all of them, right? Malibu. They're all sitting around me, and they're like, what are you doing here? I don't know. What are you doing here? We're all going on the show together. Oh, wow. Did I learn a lot? The looks that I got from these gentlemen when I started telling what I thought I knew. It was a quick education on the air. Then they really let me have it on the Fox radio show. Oh, did they beat me up good. But, I learned a lot of things that I thought we should do. But, really the most important thing, Smitty, what you want to do is protect the home. We're not going to change the infrastructure. So you can do things like retrofit your home for a very affordable amount to do fire sprinklers. There's a lot of things you'll see when you're buying products that'll say 1 or 2 hour fire rating. Well, what does that mean? That means it gives you a rating of 1 hour before the structure burns. So if I can paint my house with a 1 hour fire rating paint, that's a pretty good time to get Graham out, get the dogs out, maybe get some of the money, get the things nobody knew about, right? That's a good amount of time. So easiest thing, Smitty, paint your house, and we'll talk about your name.
Yeah.
But thank you. Good question.
And you do that before the fire. You're not going to put a fire out with that paint.
No, you don't put, if you got enough of the paint and you get a helicopter, we do a drop over that. That's the idea. You just get the paint, drop it over. Drop it. We got. Yeah, there you go.
We're coming up with solutions today. That's what we do, Scott.
Yeah, there you go. It's just the insurance for that's a little tough. It's a little expensive. So it's more than the house.
Well, our next one comes from, we're going to go up north, Cleveland, Ohio. We've got Kate, who said, we're painting our home. What's a perfect paint color for the kitchen and bedroom?
Well, I guess we could do a quick paint job if we just had that helicopter come drop it over. We could do kind of like a pull-up, one of those wonderful abstract paintings on your house. Good question. Let's see, paint color. Dunn Edwards, 6279B. I want a 40%. I've been asked this question for so many years, and there is no such thing as the perfect color. And here's something to know. Every room and every color will look different, and even in every house. I was working for an architect when I was young. We're taking a walk to lunch, and he looked at one of the roses, and he said, look at the color of the rose today. Isn't it beautiful? And I said, I saw it for the past week. He said, I know, but look at it all has to do with the atmospheric conditions. And so this rose is going to change colors every day. And then he, made me realize a color is not just a color is this living, breathing thing that changes from day to night. It actually, there's reflections that change it. So it's very challenging for anyone to pick a perfect color, but I got it for you. Here we go, Kate. Here we go. So what you do is if you live in a backyard or outside, take a few colors and put them outside and just see if they blend with the surrounding wildlife. Because the problem with most colors, and I'll tell you, no offense to Home Depot. Did I say that? No. What they're doing with with the less expensive paints is they don't have as many pigments to make it up, right? Like some are just red, green, blue, or they have 4, and the colors start to look very synthetic, and it's almost challenging to ever hit anything right. And so when you go to like things like Benjamin Moore and the more expensive paints, they might have 6 or 8 or 13 pigments. So you get something more natural. And what happens is you don't want your paint to look synthetic. So, but a good check is walk outside, take that paint chip and take a paint board and put it in with nature. And you'll see one of those colors may fit, or none of them may fit, or one may fit, because God's done a good job. You know, I've never taken a walk and said, wow, what was he thinking with that purple flower out there? Man, that hillside was so perfect, but like the purple sock flower, wow, he needs a wife. Like it just everything fits in nature, you know? And so if you can get colors that fit within that realm and they look good there, more than likely they're going to look good inside. So give that a try.
Now, along with that, is there color choices based on, say, the size of the room? I mean, a bigger room, are there certain colors you want to avoid as opposed to a smaller room, maybe?
You know, I think it's a really good question, Cameron, because I think that was like when I grew up, you know, my parents said, paint the room white. It looks bigger. Put mirrors up. It looks bigger. Still don't fit in here, Dad. Same size. You know, and it's more about illusion. It's more about furniture. You know, here's something interesting, very counterintuitive. I love black, Cameron. And people are so afraid of black because it's counterintuitive because, well, if white makes the room look really big, then black's going to make it really tiny, right?
Yeah.
And here's what black does. The eyes are interesting in that they're always looking for a focal point. And if you want to make your room look bigger, take the texture off the wall. Take the colors off the wall, because what your eye is doing is trying to grab something to understand its depth. And if you've got a wall that's got a lot of orange peel on it, and then put a little shine, I know doesn't matter if I do white, black, or green. Now try black. Here's what happens. Your eyes cannot focus on the wall. There's nothing to grab on because it's too dark. So it's a similar effect if you're living, you know, at nighttime when you're just staring up at the sky. It feels like it goes on forever. Mm-hmm. A black ceiling or a black room, you know, late at night, it feels like there are no boundaries anymore. They've been erased. And so dark colors are fantastic for making some of the small rooms feel bigger.
There you go. You're breaking some of those myths that we've all been saddled with, right?
Yeah. I've been doing it long enough. I lived in it, you know, but it's important because a lot of things are written for what sounds good. Here's something else to think about. Most of what we talk about is what we see, and it has to be seen in a picture. Right. And black doesn't photograph well. I did a show for HGTV, and you know, I went in there with the producers and they said, show us what you want to do. We're doing the white kitchen. You know, I brought all the stuff, Cameron, and I said, here's everything. And they're like, that's perfect. It was the white, you know, the marble counters, the silver. And then they said, what's in the other bag? Oh, that's the cool shit. That's the really good stuff right there. And so I pulled it all out. It was black. I did a black kitchen. And they said, that does not work well on TV. So we can't do it. And I said, but see, therein lies why we have a problem, is everything we're doing is about what looks good on film. And we stopped doing what looks good in real life. And then when you're writing an article, it's what looks good in the picture next to it. So we came up with a way. I actually did silver. My dad was a photographer, so I know a little bit about cameras. So I figured we're going to do silver leafing trim around all the edges of the doors, little like lines. So it popped. It was beautiful. You know, it was, it's interesting. So try new things. You can't believe everything you read or hear.
That's right. That's right. And let's see, out in your neck of the woods, Upland, California, we've got Benny. So we got Smitty and Benny both this morning. And he said they saw a posting on your Instagram page of faux panel walls. Can you tell them how you did that? And thanks.
Yeah. Do you think Smitty and Benny are really the same guy?
It could be. It's an alias.
It is. I mean, come on. Let's see. Faux panel walls. I always say no to faux, but yeah, it's you know, it's I think what they're talking about is what I did on a few projects is what we call applied molding, right? It's so much time and work, and it's beautiful to do real wood paneling on walls the right way. especially when you're doing it over a crooked framing system. Good
Right.
luck. Send 4 men in there in Geppetto's workshop, and I'll see you in 2 months. And let me know if we're ready to start doing some paint prep. But here's something that we've been doing. You take some of this picture frame molding or pencil molding, right? And you put it on the walls in rectangles. Lay out a design. You can put it right over, pin nail it over the drywall. What we do to make it look good is we put it on first, and then we just take the drywall mud and float to it and use that as our guide. And paint it. You want to paint it not a shiny color because the walls are not going to be perfect, but you do kind of like a nice, not even satin, do a nice matte paint. Wow, the room looks like it was paneled, and so easy. You can do it over a weekend. Husband and wife can try not to fight and do it. I bet, Cameron, I bet you could even do it I want to in your office. Hey, your walls are black there. What do you think of your dark walls, by the way?
I've got 2 dark walls, and we've got 2 dark red walls too. They're covered with signatures, but here, let me show you. There's our.
Okay.
See, the rest of the studio has signed walls. So yeah.
Hey, I see you got a guest there.
I do. That's my buddy Darren.
Hey, Darren, how are you? You're looking good. Do you like your black wall or you're looking at the red wall? It gives you energy.
Yeah, it does. I'm glad I don't have the dark wall that I'm looking at all the time.
Yeah, no, it's actually, it's interesting. You can tell me to shut up, but there is no such thing as color. Colors are actually just vibrational rates where the light bounces off and hits them. So black absorbs it all. Red kind of bounces off a nice fun wave to you. So that's why the colors have a big impact on your psyche as well. They're like sound waves, essentially.
Yeah. See, you bring out those things that a lot of people don't think about. When you talk about color, you talk about texture. Those can play big effects on your eyes. And then, like you mentioned, your mentality as well.
Yeah. It started when you're 5 years old and your mom locks you in your room a lot. You got a lot to think about when you're staring at the wall. You're like, this texture. What happens if I take it off? Now, as I'm coming up on 50 next month, I think I learned a few things.
That's right. Well, we still have one more question left, Scott.
Okay.
It's from Portland, Oregon, and it comes from Judy. And said that she heard that you remodeled the Playboy Mansion. What would you suggest to make a home more sexy, other than a robe?
Yeah, well, I don't know, Judy, give me a call. But Judy, before you call me, I am having this relationship with Alexa right now. So
you have had an on and off again relationship with Alexa for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, well, we actually had kids recently. We got we actually have the little, Echo balls now. So and they're doing fine. They're doing well. So let's see. What do you do to more sexy? Yeah, we did the Playboy Mansion. That was fun. That was like the sexiest house ever. My favorite part was the workshop where they had all the pinup girls just posted up everywhere from the 60s. How do you make a room more sexy? What can we talk about here on the, let's see. There's dungeons. There's all kinds of, here's what's sexy to a woman, right? What's sexy to a woman is having a clean, beautiful room to lay in. To have a room that's cluttered with all kinds of paraphernalia, and we're not talking that kind of paraphernalia,
right?
But to have a room that's cluttered is very unsexy to a woman or a man. I think a room, in order to be in that wonderful natural place that we're talking about, you need to be in a place of peace. You got to just take a deep breath. And, it's like when you go to a hotel, why are so many babies, it all happens in the hotels because, right? It's called the clean room environment. You just go there and you put 2 people in a clean room and it happens. So, it's not about, no offense, not about the red or the mirrors on the ceiling. That stuff gets old. It's about creating a calm environment. And it's also about the bed. having just the most luxurious sheets, treat yourself to that. And if you're not allergic to down, some just beautiful down pillows and comforters and a few candles. But it's about cleanliness. It's amazing. It makes you feel brighter. It makes you feel sexy. It makes you happier. It makes you your psyche more calm. It makes you more focused, and then therefore more hyper. And right, because you can do more. So that's what you do. Judy, clean up your room.
There you go.
Dad just told you go clean up your room. Call me after.
I know, right? Well, Scott, I always want to make sure and let folks know if they would like to see some of the other projects that you've been working on. Maybe follow on social media. Where's the best place to keep up with everything, my friend?
Well, I have a new one now. It's Scott Hamilton Harris. And then I have my other one, it's Scott_Harris_building that I think you follow. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we're expanding it now. And so follow me there. Just give me a follow. I don't ask for much, just a little follow.
I know, right?
I just need a little like.
Well, Scott, I always appreciate you taking the time to be on the show, and I look forward to our visit coming up next month as well. And if you have any questions, be sure and you can tag those on the episode. You can also, if you'd rather, just send me an email or hit me up on socials. Everything's GQ with Cam, and the email gqwithcam@gmail.com. Well, Scott, I look forward to visiting with you again next month, my friend.
All right. Same here. That was a blast. You're the greatest.